I was on the train and I saw this like actress that I recognized, an indie actress that I recognized, and at this point I had never proclaimed that I was a photographer or anything like that, but I had one business card in my pocket and I walked up to them and I said, "Hey, I'm a photographer. Like, reach out if you need anyone." And got off the train, went to that job, sat at the desk, and then got an alert that she wanted me to
Great.
photograph an event for her. And so I did the job. I started looking around the room, started listening to the people. I'm like, Vogue? Oh, New York Times. Oh, what's going on here? Who are these people? And kind of long story short, I quit the job at the talent agency and I'm washing dishes. The next day, I'm washing dishes, trying to figure out what am I going to do with my life. And I get a phone call and it's New York Magazine, a photo editor. She says, "Hey, you took some photos at an event and we want them."
Hi, welcome to Artists Unveiled, a show where we bring on exceptional creators to not just tell their story, but to give you real insights into how they went from striving to thriving. My name is Holiday, and I'm thrilled to introduce a super charmed, focused creative to keep a lookout for. She's opening eyes with her directed vision. Let me introduce you to an amazing photographer, Bre Johnson. You mentioned something about blending high style and authenticity. Could you elaborate on that a little bit? How you keep it authentic, but then you go to these events or you deal with people who are perceived in a particular light.
In the event space, everything's very fast.
Yeah.
And there's really no time for small talk.
Gotcha.
So you have to just kind of
Get your moment. You have to get in there.
Yes, you really just have to get in there or the moment is lost. I'm not sure of other people's approaches, but for me, I just like to lead with a smile and, give a little wave and just say, "Hey, how are you doing?" And, can I have you just for a moment and get the photo that I need.
And they get the idea that you're the photographer because you've got this camera with you?
Yeah, exactly. I hope so. Yeah, literally, yes.
Let's talk a little bit about your journey. You started out on the West Coast, right?
Yes.
Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yes. So originally, I'm from Los Angeles, California, born and raised. I shortly thereafter moved to San Francisco for college. And I kind of made a decision after college, do I move back to LA or do I fulfill my dreams of living in New York and work in fashion? And so I did that, bought a one-way ticket.
Was it a difficult decision? Like, how did you come to, no?
No, absolutely not.
You woke up one morning, grabbed a shoe and said, I don't care where my other shoe is, I'm going?
Since I was a child, I've always loved New York through television, through film, through magazines.
Had you been to New York?
When I was a senior in high school, my uncle and my aunt, he traveled for work, and at the time he was in New York, and so we went with him, and so that was my first taste of New York City physically at 18, and he at the time, my cousins were very small, and he didn't want them to walk around the city too much, so we were in a car a lot of the times. So I was like staring through the window, in Times Square and on Fifth Ave, like, oh, I have to get back here one day.
So what were you doing in LA or San Francisco that may have prepared you for this journey when you landed in New York?
Yeah.
As a artist and photographer?
Yeah. For me, I've always kind of had cameras in my life. My family have always purchased cameras for me, point and shoots and things like that. And I just always studied magazines. I always had Vogue and Teen Vogue and like J14 and all these like glossy magazines in my life. And so, and I used to watch like Style TV a lot and just like watch runway shows and just like, I don't know, I always thought about the glitz and the glam of it all. And like I said, through TV, like Bravo, there was a show called Gallery Girls at the time, and it was following, creatives around in New York City, and it just was just always like, oh, I have to get there. I don't know how, but I have to get there. And so with that was always in the back of my head. So when it came time, that's why when I went to San Francisco and I was finishing college, I was like, I have room to do this, so I'm going to do it. And I did it. And within that first week, I actually found a job working at APC on Mercer Street.
APC is
It's a fashion house,
okay.
French brand. Actually, I'm wearing their jeans.
Nice. I like those jeans.
Thank you. And so, yeah, that's kind of how I got started. And it wasn't pretty in New York when I first got here. I was working in retail and just trying to get my bearings. I didn't know anyone except my now husband. And yeah, from there, I was working in fashion merchandising. And I was just kind of going through the pathway of like trying to figure out what I was doing in life. And long story short, I'll say the last job I had was working at a talent agency, and just getting yelled at every day, pretty much like I'm not doing this, I'm not doing that, just feeling shame about what I was doing in life. And it got to a point where on my way to that job, I was on the train and I saw this like actress that I recognized, an indie actress that I recognized, and at this point I had never proclaimed that I was a photographer or anything like that, but I had one business card in my pocket and I walked up to them and I said, "Hey, I'm a photographer. Like, reach out if you need anyone." And got off the train, went to that job, sat at the desk, and then got an alert that she wanted me to photograph an event for her. She said it was going to be unpaid. But I said, that's fine. I want the opportunity. Exactly. And so I did the job. I started looking around the room, started listening to the people. I'm like, Vogue. Oh, New York Times. Oh, what's going on here? Who are these people? And then shortly thereafter, I was like, oh, do you want the photos? She's like, no, no, no. Give it to the host. Or she didn't even know what to do with the photos. I was like, okay. And kind of long story short, I quit the job at the talent agency and I'm washing dishes. The next day I'm washing dishes, trying to figure out what am I going to do with my life. And I get a phone call and it's New York Magazine, a photo editor. She says, hey, you took some photos at an event and we want them. And we'll be able to pay you. And I was like, okay, how do I do this? And because I was very green to it all. I didn't even know how to like send my photos to them or do I put a watermark on it? And she's like, no, just send me what you have. They selected 4 images that I, out of the gallery that I sent to them and got my first photos published in New York Magazine.
That's amazing.
So, yeah.
It's an important story.
Yeah.
How do things actually evolve when you want to get somewhere and you have a talent? These are the stories that are important because unless you've been through it, you don't know that's actually how it works. You want to talk about the Met Gala?
Yeah, so I got a call from my agency that they wanted to choose me this year to photograph the gala. Out of the agency, there's like
Were you surprised?
Absolutely. But also like, yeah, duh, you know? But yeah, out of the agency, there's like at least 100 of us and they chose me and one other person. The veteran, he stays, but I got to be the second person this year. And that was a fantastic experience. The Met Gala, they operate like Disneyland Park in a way, like everything you're in a line and everyone has to queue up and go into your space, your name card that's there on the platform. I was in a really great spot for like when the talent comes directly to us first, and then they kind of zigzag up their way to the stairs. It was extremely thrilling. Funny part about that is that Nicki Minaj came onto the carpet. And, I'm instructed to get the photo, but I don't have to, like, go overboard because I also have an editor in the back, so I don't want to, like, overboard them. And so I took the pictures that I needed, and I kind of had my camera down. And for whatever reason, that became a viral Twitter moment.
Wow.
On, I guess, like, they profiled it on E Entertainment. And then somebody on Twitter like screenshot my face and I was smiling so hard and the caption said she forgot she was taking pictures. Yeah. So I'm just cheesing so hard. But you can see like I'm just so happy to be there. And so that was kind of a funny moment. But yeah, I'm just like, wow, I can't believe I'm here.
Did you specifically study photography or how did that come about?
No, I studied fashion merchandising in San Francisco with a high emphasis on sustainability. And so, yeah, actually, funny enough, I sometimes think like, oh, maybe I should have went to school for photography in New York because I could get more connections, and because in my program there weren't any people that came through, to talk to us except for one manufacturing guy. And I will say through that I was able to go to Portugal
Oh,
for that. Yeah, and I got to work at a manufacturing facility and understand like where our clothes come from.
well, even though you didn't specifically say, "Hey, I'm going to be a photographer," but how do you feel that maybe it did inform what you're doing right now?
My fashion background.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, definitely understanding production. Like one of our last projects for that program was to run a fashion show. And so, yeah, I was doing production, back of house, and a lot of that stuff is what I do today. I'm back of house, or front of house sometimes too. But yeah, everything I've done has led me to kind of where I'm at, and just working with people and understanding how to work with retail. Like I used to work at Macy's,
Mm-hmm.
just dealing with people has helped me tremendously with my career. And like the Spencer had said earlier, I just love what I do and it shows, and I don't have a ego or an attitude when I show up on set or at an event. And yeah, I think all that has helped me. Also, too, working in events has helped me with photography, at least, think of my feet really quickly
Mm-hmm.
and just think of ideas
Mm-hmm.
that I could translate that into a studio environment, because events are very, very fast. And there's really no time to chit chat, and you got to think of the lighting, and you have to think of where to position this person to get like the best results. And so, yeah, I think all that helps me when I'm in a more intimate setting and it's more calm.
When you're in different spaces, studio and portrait photography or at an event, how do you know how to curate the photographs in those different environments? How did you figure that out?
I'm self-taught photographer.
Yeah.
As I mentioned earlier in my life, I've always had a point and shoot. But I do remember making a judgment when I was younger, like, wait, maybe I should take this off of auto and learn how to use manual. And so from there, I taught myself. And then when I really got involved into it, YouTube University,
Right.
watching tons of hours of photo videos on how to use the cameras that I have. Now when it comes to an event specifically, I look at the lighting. I'm like, okay, like right now it's cool light in here, so I don't need a full CTO on this. I'm gonna change my Kelvin to match, the room temperature. Or, oh, it's really yellow in here. Let me put the CTO. Let me make it cooler. So yeah, I look at environment. I'm always scanning the room,
Mm-hmm.
always, always, always.
It's
Um,
very intuitive to you.
yeah, and it really is. I don't. It's kind of hard to talk about it because I'm just like, I don't know, it just is. But um, yeah, I'm self-taught, and I understand technical things about cameras. That's another thing I kind of have issue with. Some photographers out in the world right now, they're like, I'm a photographer, but they're
But they're not.
literally using a point and
Instant,
shoot.
like,
Yeah,
yeah.
and I'm like, but you don't know how to work manual. You don't know how to work like AV, TV, like anything, and like. That was one thing in my brain where I was like, no, I want to like learn the technical part of it, because I don't
It's
ever
very
want to be on a
important.
set and
Yeah.
somebody's asking me a question. I'm like, I don't know.
Well, you
You
want
know?
you're learning the mastery
Yeah.
of a craft,
Yes.
which is different than getting, instant gratification.
Yes. Yes. And so, yeah, again, to the point of anyone that wants to do this, learn the craft before you
Pursue it.
say that you're anything, whatever it is that you're doing, like learn the craft wholeheartedly. And that would get you a lot further than just like clout or like, oh, I'm a photographer.
Well, true. It also gives you depth.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Not just depth of field, but depth.
Exactly, exactly. There, that. And yeah, and then two, I also shoot on film cameras, and also film cameras reel it on back too. Especially like I said with events, I could be on high continuous shooting, just but with film, you have 10 shots on a medium format camera. You got to make those shots worthwhile,
Right.
and understand your composition.
Catch a moment. You got to know how to catch a moment.
Exactly. Know your settings. Dial in the proper,
You
settings.
have to really anticipate a moment, though,
That. Yes. Yes.
because before the moment, there's about to be a moment, and that's also a gift.
Yeah. I watch people like behind my lens, like I'll hold it up and I can see that they're being like anxious, like, oh, is she done? Like, but I'm waiting for something. Sometimes it's not there and I'm waiting. And I've learned sometimes, like, if I put my camera down too soon, that's the moment.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, wait, do that again. And sometimes it's gone.
In what ways do you see that, and do you experience that technology intersects with your work?
One thought immediately that came to my brain on the event side is, technically as a photographer, you can shoot horizontally, right?
Right.
And get the full frame image. And if you want to crop for Instagram, you can crop for Instagram. But when the client sees me taking the picture like this, even though I know I'm going to crop, they're like, oh, but can you turn it vertically for Instagram? So it's like, I'm not working for Instagram. I'm working for getting the proper photo out of this camera, and then from there you can choose your formats or what you want, but I'm not doing it with that in mind about
You're not
Instagram.
restricting yourself.
Exactly.
Right?
And that brings up another point with Instagram. Actually, I could say with people that want to do this, like I don't post my work as much as I probably should on Instagram, but it's because I grew up in between new technology and old tech. I was literally born in 1990 when www.com started, so I know a world before phones, and I know this world now that we're in, and I just think it's awful that people are thinking about an Instagram before, like, I don't know, the art. It's really kind of sad because at the end of the day, like, Instagram can go down tomorrow, and
that's true.
All
what do you got,
your
kids?
portfolios, and you have nothing. But what do I have? I have a website that you can come to and go on my website. So in that way, I think technology is kind of like hindering photography in ways. Like sometimes it's like, oh, you're discovering all these images, but at the same time, like I said, it can cloud the brain, and then you don't feel like you can create.
Well, in a sense, also people are developing from the outside in instead of developing from the inside out, and that's the difference between the generations, right there.
Yeah, and also I like to think about it as like when you're a child and you're creating freely, you're literally creating freely.
That's true.
You have no one in mind, like, oh, what is Ryan
it has
gonna
to be
think?
This way.
Or like you just create, and I feel like that is kind of lost with technology.
Crop the picture later.
Like that is one of my biggest pet peeve. I hate when they're over my shoulder. Oh, well, did you get it vertically? Oh, I don't. One girl literally during Fashion Week, she was like, I don't know about this. Like, I don't know if this is gonna like go well. They say I'm scared. She literally said I'm scared. I was like, I'm not. So I don't know what you're feeling, but I know you're gonna get the picture at the end of the day. But she was just so focused that I had it horizontal, my camera. So yeah, technology is a
double-edged sword.
It really is. It really is. Yeah. Yeah.
So you've been featured with some other photographers?
Yeah. For PH Museum.
Now, what is that?
It was new to me as well. I don't know. I kind of woke up on Instagram and it was just, they tagged me and they're like, oh, photographer to watch. But I believe it's like a Italian photography institute.
Okay.
And so
they know about visuals in Italy.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So that's kind of,
they're the ones that started paparazzis.
Yeah,
so,
yeah.
But yeah, I just kind of woke up one morning and I was like, oh, Black female photographers to watch. Okay, cool. But I do feel a little guilty about that because I'm still working, and I don't have like, I guess, any like projects right now per se because I'm still just trying to find my voice outside of the events.
Right.
And that's kind of where I'm at.
Sounds like life is calling to you though.
Yeah.
And you're trying to catch up with it.
I guess so.
Sounds like this is your calling.
Yeah, it definitely is. Photography is all I think about when I wake up, when I go to bed, like throughout the day. If I wasn't doing photography, I don't know what else I'd be doing. So yeah, it's my livelihood. That's
a gift though, to be so clear on what is meaningful to you and to be granted the opportunities one after the other like that.
I
I
think
think it's a
so.
unique experience. I'm sure you've worked really hard to get some of this opportunity, but it seems like it's a mix between hard work and a little bit of you're supposed to be doing this.
Absolutely. And I think that's where I'm at, where I'm like, the opportunities are coming to me, but I'm not really creating them right now.
Yeah.
And that's kind of where I'm struggling, where I'm like, maybe I should. And if I do, more will come. Instead of kind of like, not necessarily that I'm waiting around, but it's because I'm doing the work and then people are sharing my name. So then it comes up. Or just like with Spencer here, he's like, oh, you want to do photography on a music video? And I'm like, yeah, you know?
Yeah, yeah.
So it's just like, and it's because I met you,
Right.
on a train. So yeah, that's kind of how it's been going thus far. And I'd say I've been doing it now for 6 years professionally.
Nice.
And so and I think people say like the 10-year mark is like people recognize you
Right.
at that point.
Is that how long you've been in New York? 6 years?
10 years.
Oh,
Yeah,
sorry. Yeah.
yeah, 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 yeah. No, the first 5 were
Not.
no.
We're not talking about.
Exactly.
What first 5 years?
Exactly. Or 6, I would say. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Like that was discovery.
No, you were talking about a group of photographers walking around taking pictures. What was that about?
Yeah, so within that first 5-year journey, I was like really trying to find community and going on Eventbrite all the time. And again, kind of through Kismet, I met someone who like I knew, and then somehow they're like, oh, you should talk to them, and we got linked up. But I started with Souls in Focus, which is a photography collective of black and brown photographers here in Brooklyn, and they were doing a lot of meetups all the time, and I was like, I gotta get to know people. So I joined with them, and I would do the photo walks and just build community with them. And through that, they kind of put me on to other people, and that led me to other work. And yeah, so that's kind of how I got really my foot in the door, is through community. Yeah.
Do you have any, I imagine you have a few favorite photography moments?
Hmm. Honestly, yeah, I would say working with Solange Knowles. I first photographed her for her BAM El Dorado Ballroom concert that she put together at BAM.
Mhm.
And through that opportunity, I was able to get like intimate portraits of her. And then from there, another event came where I got to meet her again, and she recognized me this time. And then, so yeah, anytime I get to photograph her, I feel like my artistry is coming out, and it's not just an event photo. And I'm putting this out onto camera here that I would love to work with her personally. But yeah, I would say those types of moments, I'm always like,
Any others?
yeah, I mean, like FK Twigs, I photographed Coleman Domingo. Actually, Coleman Domingo, he's really great to photograph and work with. Um, Outside of the agency, I got to do some work with him for WWD on my, like, personally working with them.
Yeah.
And I got to photograph his like Tony Award dinner, pre-dinner that he had. This was like maybe 2 years ago. And like, yeah, a lot of those people were theater people, and they were singing, and they're actors and actresses, and he just has an awesome presence, and so that was really comforting and fun. Um, yeah, there's a bunch.
So you've done music, fashion, film. Any
Mm,
learning moments from any of those events that you did?
yeah, I guess I would say more recently I photographed this poet from the 70s.
Oh.
And this is just something I guess I would tell other photographers out there like to be aware of. But sometimes you can be your best, and then when you're doing your job, the talent is rude.
Okay.
And so in this particular moment, they had him and the host had just finished their conversation on stage, and that was my moment to get that photo of them two in that space. So I approached them, and you know, if I see like in between the person, there's like a cup or some sort of distraction, I'm gonna ask them, "Oh, can you just step in front of that, cover that up?" And I just asked him to move slightly over, and he was like, "I don't like to be bossed around." like in that very moment. And mind you, they had just shown his film. He just did this talk, and I was just like, oh, in awness of him. And then when that moment happened, it just all went like down
Wow.
for me because I was like, why? I'm bossy. I'm not bossy. I'm just doing my job, you know. So yeah, those types of moments, I would say like it's never you,
Right.
you know. And at the end of the day, like these people have their own things going on, and
True.
to never look at those moments like, oh, what did I do? Or what, how could I change? Like, don't change, be yourself, you know, and
Right, as
these,
long as you're just doing your thing and
yeah,
being polite.
literally that.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So I would give that tidbit for anybody that wants to get involved into events at least.
So if you're working with an individual, what are some things that help you to feel like you're capturing their best moment?
I guess, yeah, just getting to know them, having a conversation with them before we sit down and have a session, asking them about themselves. And then once I'm actually photographing and I see that they're kind of lost in the movement, I like to give direction and just make them think of something that they love or that they hate, depending on whatever the story is there. But yeah, I just like to like spend time with people, truly, and that's why I love photography so much. Is because I get to meet people, literally,
All
like
kinds of people.
all sorts of people. Literally, it's fascinating. It's what keeps me truly going and happy to like do and capture those moments. So yeah,
Is there anyone that you've met that really inspired you?
Solange.
Yeah.
Seriously, yeah, she has definitely inspired me a lot. Just how she moves, she's very poised. She knows exactly what she wants, doesn't want, and so yeah, that kind of energy would make me want to like, match
Level
it.
up your
Yeah, yeah,
game.
level up exactly.
Did you have any photographers that you really liked in your path?
I'm still learning a lot of photographers as I go along. Right now, I'm enjoying like Richard Avedon's
Mm-hmm.
work, Peter Lindenberg, his black and white portraitures, um, Gordon Parks for dark documentary
Mm-hmm.
type of work. I say like new people nowadays, Renelle Madrano. She does a lot of great work that I'm always looking at. Tyler Mitchell right now too. But also, I try not to look at people's work because
Yeah,
also I'm like world building myself, and I don't want to get lost in what they're creating and have that be informed into my work.
sure.
And here's something I can't speak about. So what my work is that I love leisure.
Okay.
I think as a black woman in America, like it is still a odd thing for us to just be,
Right.
you know. A lot of the times in media it really is like struggling baby mama, like
Perception,
prostitute, all these horrible things.
ridiculous
Yeah,
perception.
and I'm like, no, I'm actually laying in the park, I'm reading a book, I'm listening to Tori Ma, and living my life. And so I just really want to highlight this other nuanced
This realm,
realm because I still don't think I see it in the world.
it's not imprinted
And
in
no, and
people's
no.
psyche
Yeah,
to the degree that it could be.
exactly. And another point that I'm thinking about, actually, I just watched the new Prada fashion show that just happened and on the runway, and they have like again like it's like, okay, you got black models, that's great, but they're all like darker skin and they all have little afros. There's
Yeah,
no difference. And so I'm just like, even that, it's just like there's still a lot of work to be done. And so, yeah, I just want to show us in all facets
of
of
reality.
reality, yes. And again, whether that's laying or at the beach or carrying a child and they're happy, and or I guess motherhood, I'll say motherhood. Or singlehood, they could be single too. I just, that's really what I'm trying to focus on, but in fashion, like, make it fashion. So yeah, that's
That sounds like fashion meets photography, though. You might be onto something a little wider than what you realize.
yeah, exactly. Like I like to draw inspiration from the French, like the Yee moment, like the Francois Hardy, like that kind of world is what I want to like insert my character into, because they do exist. I'm thinking of like Ronnie Spector. I think that was her last name, Ronnie, the singer.
Yeah.
Um, she had the big hair and Be My Baby,
Yeah,
like
yeah,
that
yeah.
kind of world. Like that's what I'm interested in showcasing in my own personal work, but like of today. Also, too, like I was watching a TikTok, as I do, and someone was mentioning Sofia Coppola. Like her world is beautiful, right? But she doesn't really incorporate black or brown women in her storytelling. And so I said to myself, yeah, that's how I can have this angle. Like, I can world build like her, but like include people that look like me and
Yeah.
tell those real stories because like we really do exist.
It's very good that you feel something is natural for you and intuitive to you, because I studied with an interesting photographer. I studied with Roy DeCarava, and he was a friend of mine. And I don't know if you're familiar with him, but you should look him up.
Okay, yeah, I will.
And he said, and he would have loved you, because he said that, in life, everyone has their thing. You got to find your thing. I think your thing just landed on you, because you seem you're really blessed in that sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And California helps. Growing up, just like relaxing, everything's slow. People still tell me like, yeah, you're from California. I could tell. You're too chill. I'm like, I don't think I'm too
Can't
chill.
be too chill in New York.
Exactly that.
What do you think opened up the door to your creativity?
Freedom. Like I have no one telling me no. So that allows me to create freely, and get lost in it. And I don't know, my family's always they've been encouraging. Like my dad, he's always like, yeah, do whatever you love. Like, like God has your back type of verbiage. But yeah, just I've freedom to create. Really, yeah. I have no one. I'm just thinking about it for the first time too. But yeah, no one's telling me any different. Like, so that's how I'm able to create. And I get inspired by anything. So yeah, it helps.
I was going to say to you, is there anything that inspires you to do your work? Like, do you use music or environment, in a sense, nature?
Definitely, yeah. Nature. I ride my bike around Prospect Park a lot. Walking, just literally aimlessly walking,
You're the
watching
leisure
people.
person.
Yeah, yeah, I'm not joking. Yes, like I don't like to run. I like to walk and ride my bike. Sit in the park. I spend a lot of time by myself. I am married and I have a husband. But we're two very individual people, and we honor our individuality and space, and 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 because I'm a freelancer, I have a lot of time too. But yeah, I do spend a lot of time alone. I'm an only child as well, and
So
so
you've learned how to entertain yourself.
oh yeah, like I'm the person that's at the restaurant by myself having a meal because I
'Cause
want
you're
to eat.
comfortable.
Yeah, I'm like I want to eat like
Exactly, it's
this meal
practical.
exactly. So with that, yeah, I'm able to just freely create and spend time with myself and push myself. I push myself a lot. I'm very ambitious. I'm delusional
Okay.
as well.
You need to be delusional.
I'm very
You need a bit
delusional.
of healthy delusion to
I'm very
get.
delusional, and that's why I'm here, and that's why I've done the things that I've done, and I'm still very delusional. I have huge goals, but yeah, any and everything, music, film, magazines,
Right.
silence, books, everything. The
If you
beach.
could go anywhere in the world and do some photography, where would that be and why?
Um, I was thinking about this. Actually, I'm going to Italy in a week.
Oh, exciting. Where in
Yeah,
Italy? Milan?
Rome and
Rome?
Florence.
Oh,
Yeah,
cool. Beautiful
so I
places.
will be taking my film camera there and yeah, just getting lost and taking pictures of people that will allow me to take pictures of them. Um, but yeah, anywhere too. That's the thing about me and photography. I don't need to be in some like
Special place.
crazy place to get my ideas off. And yeah, so if I could shoot anywhere in the world, anybody who wants to hire me, send me out to Paris. Let's go, or Italy or Africa. That would be awesome. But yeah, anywhere in the world.
What would you say to anyone who's on your path that you think it would be valuable to either learn or perhaps unlearn?
For anyone that wants to get involved in photography, specifically in New York, I would encourage finding community that is really big, and speak what you want to do specifically. Don't be shy to talk about what you want to do. Um, don't take no's as hard. Just brush them off and kind of keep going.
How do
It's
you find the right community? There's a vast world out there. Do you think it's
it's
just
trial and
intuitive?
error. Yeah, because I've been to plenty of panel talks where I'm like crying because I'm like, I don't belong
Belong
here.
here.
And other times it's on a high and it's like, oh my god, I totally belong here. It truly is a trial and error, and it is about ambition and determination about how bad you want something. And so I would just say, keep trying every single thing, keep trying to open every single door, um, and never give up. Honestly, that's kind of my philosophy
Yeah.
of how I live. And the no's get easier as time goes on.
Because you realize, I guess, they're meaningless
They're
because it's a no. You can't do anything with a no. Might as well
Yes,
keep it moving, right?
yes, and sometimes no's are blessings. You
Absolutely.
know, sometimes it's like, oh, great, I'm so happy the freaking building caught on fire.
Yeah, God forbid.
So I'm happy
Sure.
I didn't
Yeah.
go there,
Yeah.
like, so yeah, just I would say keep going, keep finding people that align with you, and the people that don't align with you, forget it.
I'll say it again. You're really fortunate in the sense that you have your thing and it's a blessing. You're really a truly blessed person.
Thank you.
And it's been a pleasure to speak with you today.
Awesome. Thank you so much. I'm
Welcome.
happy to be here and speak for the first time.
Sure. Thanks so much for stopping by. I hope you enjoyed this episode of Artists Unveiled. Please check us out on Instagram at dimi.app.og. That's dimi.app.og. And on our website at godimi.com.